Hi guys, this is Ruth and today we will talk about how to get your first 100 customers for your business. I am going to talk about mostly SaaS-centered tactics because this is what I know and this is what I do, but it actually works for any type of business, whatever it is, an agency, a bakery, well, I don't know about a bakery, any type of online business, basically. You can use these tactics to get your first 100 customers for almost free. I'm talking about people who are starting their first business and don't really have the capital for heavy-handed advertising. And these tactics are a great way to get started and get your first 100 customers. Start getting feedback and learning what you need to improve and going from there. The idea is that as you grow, as you have more customers, you have more money to advertise, to build more features, to improve your product, and the snowball starts rolling. This is what I would do if I was just starting out my very first SaaS business and needed my first 100 customers. First thing first, before you even launch, you want to start collecting a mailing list or SMS list or any kind of way you can communicate to your potential customers. What I would do is basically create a very basic landing page somewhere like WordPress or Wix, something that should be very simple and very cheap to create. Maybe do a video talking about your product, maybe just some demonstration of what it would work like, even though it's not even ready yet, and have a sign up option. Allow people to pre-sign up to the waiting list for your product, offer them some sort of a discount or maybe just early access. And again, you can use built-in tools in the platform like Wix has, I think it's called Ascend, or you can use something like Poptin, which has some pretty amazing free or cheap plans to start collecting emails and get some potential customers. Start collecting your future customers before you even launch, as soon as possible. This might take some monetary investment, but it's a very minimal monetary investment compared to building a whole product and only later on finding out that no one wants it. This is kind of a validation step that would also allow you to later market to these people. Now, how do you get people into this landing page? There are a few things you can do. If you already have some social media following, share it on social media. If you don't, you can use groups like Facebook groups, I think even LinkedIn has some groups, and share it over there and let people sign up. And lastly, you could do some basic PPC in Google and Bing, some very cheap Facebook ads to get some traction into the page. You do need to make sure that the keywords you are targeting are good, that the audience you are targeting fits your audience, and if you're not getting any sign up out of the people who are clicking the ads, then you should reconsider either the product or maybe do some changes in the landing page. But ideally, you would already have a mailing list of maybe a few hundred customers or potential customers when you launch. And then all you have to do once you launch is send out an email with the product sign-up link and with some sort of a discount. Ideally, make this email a sequence so that anyone who didn't sign up from the first one would get another one, etc., etc., etc. The next thing you can do is launch your product on marketplaces like Product Hunt and AppSumo, and I'm sure there are more. These are places where people specifically go to find deals and to find new upcoming products. So it's a great way to get some initial traction to your product. I would maybe wait just a little bit until your product has a good enough set of features to launch there. There are a lot of videos out there on YouTube talking about exactly how to launch on these kind of platforms for success. You will have to do some marketing for these platforms. Use your email list from the last tactic to send them out to these places to start rating your product so that you can actually rate in this platform. The good thing about launching on these kind of marketplaces is that they basically do some marketing for you. It's not just launch and forget. You do have to do some advertising on your own, get people to your listing and get them to actually rate your product and use it. But there are some people just there looking for products and you can capture their attention for free, which is awesome. This is a really good way to just get the first few customers, the first interest level, gauge what people want and start a conversation around your product. The next thing you can do to market your product is to integrate with other partners. So if we are talking about a SaaS product, you would focus on technical partners. Integrate with products that are relevant to yours, that have some complementary features that have the same kind of target audience. Let me give you an example. We have our main app Reconvert, which is a post-purchase upsell app for Shopify. So we have a lot of widgets that allow the merchants to actually upsell to their customers. But sometimes you want to use some smart recommendations to actually choose the product, so you don't have to choose it manually. And we don't have any kind of smart recommendation mechanism in the app. So what we did is integrate with other apps on the Shopify App Store that do smart product recommendations. And now our customers are actually installing their app to use their smart recommendations, and their customers are installing our app to do post-purchase upselling with the recommendations that they love. This is a great example of complementary marketing of partnerships. So you do have to know how to do that once you do an integration. It's not enough just to integrate. You have to do some email blasts, some social media marketing, and most importantly, make sure you are in each other's dashboards, in each other's apps, so that people can get to each other through your different apps. You might think, I don't have a SaaS product, doesn't apply to me, it's not relevant. You're wrong, because this is just one example of a way to do co-marketing with a partner. It doesn't have to be a technical co-marketing. If you have an agency that does, let's say, social media, and there is another agency you know that does website building, you could market each other. You could work together, maybe find some customers to share with each other, and you could give a discount to your agency for customers using this partner agency, or maybe an affiliate link, or any kind of thing that could work for you. You could do a bundle where they just pay once and get both services. There are a lot of opportunities here. The important thing is look at your space. Look at the other competitors in your space, but also at your potential partners and see who you could work with. This is a really easy way to do some free marketing, and it's a win-win situation. Your customers win 2 products that they enjoy, your partner wins some customers from you, and you win some customers from them. Take into account that if you are the smaller product, you would have to do most of the work. This is a very important thing to remember. If you have the most to gain, it makes sense that you would do more of the work. Don't expect the other side to do all of it. Try to think about what you can give them and not just what you can take from them, which is the key for any kind of good partnership. And lastly, tactic number 4, you can build an outreach automation. So when you're first starting out, you can do it manually. You can reach out to people who are relevant on LinkedIn or Facebook, DM them, see if they're interested. Again, just like in the last tactic, you really want to focus on what you can give them and not what they can give you. Don't start it out by saying, hey, I have a new business, come support me. Start it out by saying, hey, I think this product might be good for you and help you do 1, 2, 3. I want to help you improve that. Come check it out. I would love your feedback, and in exchange for your feedback, maybe give them the product either for free or for a very large discount, depending on your product status and what stage you are in right now in development. In this tactic as well, I would encourage you to create a sequence. Instead of just sending out one DM, if a person doesn't answer you, try another one after a few days. Take into account that people who are being outreached to a lot of the times get a lot of DMs from businesses. So sometimes they're not interested, sometimes they haven't seen your messages. Give them some time to reply and then try again. And if they still didn't reply, maybe you can try again in a few months when your business is in a different space. But don't spam them and don't get angry when you're not getting answers. Remember that the answer rate would probably be pretty low, which is why you want to spread a wide net, which could be pretty difficult when you're doing it manually. And that is why you can improve this tactic by using an automation tool like Link Fusion that allows you to do automatic outreach to both LinkedIn and Twitter. You need to be careful there. You don't want to get your accounts blocked. Use some best practices, and again, don't spam. Try to make the messages as human as possible and as considerate as possible. I personally get a lot of LinkedIn DMs from a lot of different companies, probably using some automations, and I can really see the ones who do it right and the ones who don't. The ones who do it right would use some personalization, like my name, and they would actually make sure that they do their segmenting correctly so that they send me messages that are relevant to what I do. And there are others that are completely off the mark with the value statement that they are offering me compared to what I actually do in life, and they maybe use male terminology even though I'm a female. So try to think about all of these things when you create an automation, and use gender neutral language and use the person's first name. Try to make your message sound human. Once they answer, you can start the message manually, and there's no need for further automation. I think manual approach, especially in the beginning, the human approach is very important. You have the time for it in the beginning, you have the resources, no reason not to do it. These are the 4 tactics on how to get your first 100 customers. It might be fast, it might be slow, it really depends on how much effort you're putting in to each of these, how ready your product is for market fit, and how much people are going to stay or leave. The important takeaway is that you don't have to spend a bunch of money to get customers on the one hand, and on the other hand, you can just launch a product and sit tight and wait, because that will not work. You do have to do some active marketing activities, but if you don't have the funds for paid advertising or for heavy paid advertising, there are other ways. Let me know in the comments below, do you have any questions? Do you have any tactics you've already tried and worked and didn't work? Or do you have any tactics to add to the ones that I've just talked about? I will see you in the next video, and good luck with your online business.